Sorry, you're actually live.
We're live already?
We're live.
And here I am yawning. That's rude, Andy.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. There's a person from the MDT, if she shows up, her name is Laura Langdon.
Okay. Langdon.
If she doesn't show up, we're gonna have a quick meeting.
Yeah.
Have you met this gal?
No, I just talked to her on the phone. Thought it would be a great deal, so.
Well, I talked to her on the phone once, but that's been quite a while ago. And she said she must have gotten a hold of you then,
Yeah, I talked to her,
because she never did call back when I talked to her.
I talked to her this Monday,
Oh,
or maybe last Thursday. So we still live?
We're still live. So just
Is it 10
Smile.
o'clock yet?
9:56.
So we're live.
Joe, I was thinking maybe it would be good at the beginning of these when we are doing live to introduce who's there.
Everyone.
Just as a matter of practice.
Yeah, because we take it for granted everybody.
That
knows
everyone
everybody.
is going to know who's speaking. And
And
that's
that
not.
will include you, and you'll get
Yes.
up in front of the camera.
Yes.
Do a little pirouette.
Yeah. I don't think I'm coordinated enough to be doing any pirouetting. Did it rain last night at your place?
No, I got up about 5:30 and the deck was dry, and then by 6 it had started just misting.
A
And
light.
then it rained. It was raining. It wasn't like a hard rain, but it was more than just misting. So
That's good.
it was a drizzle, I guess.
Was it raining in Fairfield, Sam?
no,
No?
it didn't start raining until pre-sleep,
Okay.
and then I ran into it, and it was raining pretty hard.
What about your neck of the woods, Dick?
Yeah, and I hit it right out here.
Same too.
Yeah. Hopefully it went south and east,
Yeah.
I hope that we got some out there along the bench.
but I can already see
Sunlight.
daylight under the
Yeah.
clouds to the north, so.
That's encouraging. It was only 15% chance on the deal. So if we can start getting rain and 15% chance, that's a good sign.
It's the threshing bee this weekend, so we should have lots of rain
Well,
and maybe
some
snow.
that's true.
No, don't bring snow up yet, please. You have it behind you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I wrote it down, so
that's why I had to write it down also.
okay, it must be close enough. I'll introduce everybody. We have Mel here, Alan Gagne, Dick Snellman, Sam Carlson, and myself.
No.
So welcome, everyone. We're hoping the representative from MDT shows up. So we have minutes. I don't have any minutes. So we don't have minutes. No road encroachments, and the MDT representative isn't here yet, so we'll go on to the cemetery board appointment. I didn't get to meet him. He was in one day.
Hi,
I,
I'm Laura Langdon. I
Laura.
talked to.
I talked to you last.
Okay,
Yeah, come on in and pull up a
Come on
chair.
okay, you're fine. Okay.
So we have cemetery board appointment.
and his name is Kevin Heinley.
So do I have a motion?
I'd make a motion to accept his appointment.
I would second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
He's appointed.
You guys don't know. He's taken the place of Jimmy. Do we know where in Jim's term he was? Well, that's a, yeah,
And Lisa's gone this week,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'll find that out for you.
okay, thanks.
Okay, we might as well do the OPA agreement too, and then we'll be done with that. So we have a rent agreement from OPA to use our downstairs office. And when they did it last year, it was very well received, so I think it's a good thing. The contract is for a year, and then there's a yearly renewal option on it. Basically, the only changes were the dates. And Joe Coble has signed off on it.
But move to accept the OPA agreement.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved. Okay, that brings us to Laura.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. So my name is Laura Langdon. I don't work, my employer is not the Department of Transportation, but they've hired us to do some of the public outreach. So there are 3 projects on US 89 coming in the next couple years. So right now, all of them are in design, but they're sort of staggered. So the northern segment you might have heard of, because that's the first one coming. That design is nearly final. And then another segment, they call Freeze Out Lake North, is after that. And then there's a segment just south of town that is also in that 3 or 4 year span. So I brought some brochures on the project. And I can go ahead and just leave these with you too.
Okay.
So just kind of a brief overview. Being in design, we don't have a lot of final elements finished. But what they're generally planning on doing is just kind of making the curves easier but less steep and less sharp. I think there's just some passing opportunities that they were going to add. Wildlife pullouts in the freeze out lake section there at the bottom, which are essentially just going to be like extra wide shoulders. So right now you've got a couple like actual pullouts where you leave the road and then there's like a parking space. But for this project, they're just going to have segments of like extra wide shoulders. They're going to increase the shoulder width to 4 feet on each side. That's generally it. So it's not, the alignment really isn't going to change drastically. There might be a few segments where they're talking to landowners where they might just have to take part of a property. I'm not sure how much property that is. And I'm not even sure if they finalized that yet either.
I did have a question on the Choteau South. A local group, and Dave Shea is the one that called me, was proposing that they have a pullout by Priest Butte on the west side of the highway,
Okay.
so they could be walking up to Priest Butte in a safe parking area. Do you know if they added that in the Choteau South?
I can check, because I think I have the mile markers for where those are going to be.
Okay.
So I think it is in that region.
Because it seemed like a really good idea to me.
Yeah, of course.
It's on state land and it's right by the highway, so it seemed like
Okay.
it'd be a good fit.
Well, in the other side of that, not necessarily the more you have, but large enough for people to get off the road, because it is agricultural area to Teton County, and there's a lot of truck traffic on that road.
Freeze out's always been, it's only a few weeks a year, but it's always been congested.
It's really gets congested
Really?
down there bad. Bird watchers and then later on hunters, so there's times when there's a whole mile-long stretch of cars parked,
Oh, wow.
so
Yeah.
it gets pretty congested. Yeah, it really does.
If they don't, we're gonna have more accidents.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. You're thinking, if we don't have as many, at least make them bigger and wider.
So
get
people
those-
can get off the
Yeah.
road instead of
Okay.
just stopping.
Mm-hmm, okay,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
And the least amount of disturbance that they can do to that road, because it's a very solid piece of road work.
Okay.
And it's all around water, so I mean, if they can not disturb that bed, it would be, to me, advisable. But
Mhm.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they engineer that.
yeah, if you can pass it on,
They're just gonna widen the shoulders, it sounds like, across
Mhm.
street up. That's what we were talking about yesterday, which, to me, they wouldn't be doing much of anything to the bed that's there, it's just widening the shoulders. To accommodate what they need.
Yeah, they were, I mean, as far as I know, I've just heard, new pavement. So I don't know if that's gonna be your mill and fill, or if they're just gonna put something right on top, I'm not sure if that's been decided yet. Or I don't, maybe they are planning to kick that even deeper, I'm not sure, but I can ask. I know, yeah, the, environmental group is always, that's the first group that has to be, appeased, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and that road is amazing because it goes right through the worst type of topography you could ever build a highway on. It's held up amazingly
Flawless.
well.
Yeah.
It really is there now.
Whoever put it in did a good job.
Mm.
But it could be wider.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds like it's a big equipment. Okay. Oh, and the Teton River Bridge too. They're
Yeah.
gonna replace that. I don't think they're making it any larger, any wider, that sort of thing. I think just more stout. And I'm not exactly sure what their problems are with the current bridge. I'm not privy to that.
I know they've studied it a lot.
They were studying the whole lot this past year.
Oh, yeah?
They drilled it to, core samples and all that.
Mm.
And inspected it. I don't know just what they found, but never did here.
Okay.
And there must be something structural they're gonna do. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be nice to have it wider,
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
it is a fairly narrow bridge. And invariably, I need a truck on my way home, I hate that. You get in the middle of one of those little bridges with a big semi right there. Yeah, so.
Wow.
it'd be
Then
nice.
which one do you pick, the truck or the?
Oh, yeah, tough call.
And the other thing that is coming up on Wednesday, the 29th, is we're having an open house here at the public library. And I brought these are actually just printouts of a postcard that's gonna be coming out later this week. So this is the front and back of the postcard. Inviting people to the open house. It's not, there's nothing different on here that's not on this brochure. And then the website will have all of this information, the maps, the timeline. Then we definitely want to keep that website updated in case that's where people are going to get the news. That's where it's going to be.
So what time is that?
That is from 5 to 7.
5 to 7?
Mm-hmm. And our plan for that is no presentation, so it's not like you're gonna miss anything if you come at 5, or if you come at 6, or even if you come right at 7. It's just gonna be poster boards around the room, the engineers are gonna be there. We'll have the big plats of the road, so if someone wants to say, well, what's happening to my driveway or my neighbor's yard, or, they can pull up that plat, go through it right there. So just kind of come and go, stay as long as you want. Oh, the other thing, they have like a video playthrough of the whole stretch. So just everything that's shown here. So we'll just kind of have that being shown up on a loop, and you can kind of look at it.
I bet that'll be pretty well attended. The Choteau North is gonna have to be a fairly big realignment to make their curves right, so that's,
Yeah,
we've gotten quite a few interested citizens stop by and ask about that, so that'll be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same engineers on all of the projects, so they'll be able to speak to any part of it. And then we'll be sending out an email. We went through and found, everyone that we could think of in the area and even some in Great Falls. So we'll be sending out an email, actually, I think later today, with all this information about the open house, what to expect, that sort of thing. So, you guys will all get the email, and many other people will too. We've got EMS, we've got the schools, businesses. And then, if people want to sign up too, we'll have that at the open house, so we can make sure that anyone who wants the emails can get them.
That'd be helpful.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because there's gonna be a lot of interest on that.
Yeah,
All three projects, actually.
sure. Yeah, one thing they wanted to stress is that, so these three segments, like I was saying, the northern part, what they just told me is like it's mostly final. So I think there's some tweaks as far as maybe what type of fence post a landowner would prefer. Like those types of things they could change. And then just if the project is farther out, the more that they can change. So the Freeze Out Lake section that's, close, it's like probably about 60% there. And then the Choteau South segment, it's probably just right, 30% maybe there, so. And they're staggered because of funding, just the way that they go after money. It's just allotted in a funny way where it has to be like this. So I don't believe any of these are gonna be constructed in the same year. There might be some overlap perhaps, but they'll be, from my understanding, 1 year at a time.
And the way that usually works, if the funding, the dates are always tentative, because sometimes they don't get funded and they get pushed back.
Right.
Because I think originally that Choteau North was supposed to be next year,
Mm-hmm.
but it
What does it say on that
happens
quote?
pretty regularly. We got our STIP book yesterday, and it's the dates are the same. It's 2023 for Choteau North, 2024 for Freeze Out, and then 2025 for Choteau South.
So they are stretched out a ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then those curves on 408 are next year,
Next year, yeah. By
2022.
Sweet Olson's,
There's
Yeah.
3 curves going west from Fairfield. They're gonna,
Krauses
Krause's,
and
and,
Swedes.
well, the next one is, over the missile hill.
yep, there's 3
Oh.
curves that they're gonna
Yeah.
dead.
Because those are all pretty, the one at Swedes is actually probably the best one,
It's not a bad corner.
but the one above that, they're worse, they're short, a lot shorter,
Sure.
tighter.
And right now, Laura, there's no plans to do the Choteau Main Street. They're just hopping right over us.
That's right, they are hopping right over. I think they're even coming right up to the city limits, but I'm not positive exactly where those are and if that's where they stop, but they are jumping over town.
But they'll have that specific information at the open house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that the mayor will be there. I'll be there. So that'll be, yeah, it sounds like that's a great idea to have that in town.
Yeah,
The more information we can get out, the better it is.
yeah. And more visuals, we don't wanna just, and part of my job is taking the technical terms and breaking them down a little bit. So we don't wanna put anything over anybody's head. We wanna make sure people understand what's going on and, everyone should understand, so. That's also the goal.
Laura, is it still their position that they're skipping the town because A, we aren't able financially to replace our water mains, which run down Main Street, and B, because we don't want parallel parking and that's a requirement for any redo in town?
Okay.
Is that,
I'm not sure. I'll make a note of that and ask. I'm sure they know why. but that's a good question, I wasn't aware of. Okay.
I'm sure that question's gonna come up.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the open
I'm
house, so
sure.
that's-
We've been promised for
Thank you.
25 years that they're gonna redo Main Street, and now it's like, nope, not unless you invest $1 million in new pavement and to replace the water mains, which has to be done prior to the project. So then the state would come through and tear up our $1 million in new
Yeah,
asphalt, and then losing parking on Main Street.
It's a catch-22.
It's, yeah,
Visited with Chris about it more than once. It's frustrating
It is, yeah.
very
for the
frustrating.
city, and I'm sure it's frustrating for MDT too. I'm sure they would like to just go right through and get it all done, but the timing is a
yeah.
bugger.
So they were requiring the city to replace the water line through Main Street and then put a nice pavement on top.
Well,
Yes.
the issue is that MDT takes so long to get their projects lined up and ready to go, that the only way the mayor can see how to do it would be to replace the pipes. And in the meantime, they would have to repave the city street,
Yeah.
the highway through Main Street. And then at some point, MDT would come in and rip up the new highway and bring it up to their specs. So it's a catch-22.
The city had hoped to be able to come to an agreement where they could be done at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, rip out the
And
main.
Chris is still working on that.
But then the next thing after that was, oh, by the way, you have to go to parallel parking. Which,
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, do you remember, they had the other proposal, the reverse
reverse
angle
angle
parking?
parking, yes.
I think Mick
Yeah.
Johnson was still the regional guy when we had that meeting. And what town, do you remember what town that they did that in? It was successful. They had a,
Yeah, I did a bunch of research on it. There are lots of places in Montana that do it. Missoula has a bunch of reverse, but no small towns have
yeah,
done it.
and it just didn't seem like it would be.
Small town somewhere.
So it would be reverse angle parking. You would pull in and back into the curb instead of,
Wow.
But that wasn't the hang up this time around, was converting it all to parallel
which would cut our parking on Main Street down.
dramatically.
Yeah.
Plus, can you imagine how many bent fenders there'd be on Main Street?
Well, the reverse
Yeah.
angle parking
It would be terrible.
didn't appeal to many people. I remember that meeting.
I think I actually wrote an editorial against reverse angle
I
parking.
believe you.
Oh, yeah.
Probably did.
Wow. No, that's really unfortunate to hear. I don't know why they have to make it so difficult like that, and
Well, I know the funding is for my conversations with Chris, the funding from MDT is, and he's still hoping that they can get it worked out to where that they can do it in conjunction with the city project. So maybe that will still happen, I don't know.
Makes sense.
Common sense would dictate.
yeah, I mean, the state also doesn't want seams in their roads either, so the less that they can have a seam, the better, and
Sure.
Yeah, it would, hopefully that works out.
yeah.
Any other questions for Laura?
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for
Explaining
inviting me.
this,
Happy
you know,
New Year.
this
And the
is-
timing was really good because we just got this STIP deal yesterday in the mail,
Yeah.
so that was really good.
Good to hear. Yeah, thank you for having me. I can leave these for you. I've got plenty of the postcards are on their way, so,
Oh, okay.
I'll take this, I just wrote
Pass
on it.
those around a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Contact information is there. I can leave it with you again, just to make sure I've got it and have any questions. But,
All right.
yeah, thank you
Appreciate
again.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any commission reports?
No.
Not at this time. We did have a training from, employment training yesterday and the day before at the pavilion. And we invited the cities to participate, and I just went to the first one, so I'm not sure if they didn't count. But anyway, it was a good training. That's the only thing I have to report. Which brings us to public comment.
We have no public.
Nels,
Oh,
public.
now it's public.
Oh, she's shaking her head, she's off camera.
I'm like quasi-public, I don't know what I am.
Okay, I don't have any public notices that I know of, so the next meeting will be October 7th. And we are adjourned. And I will make it to that open house. I think that's gonna be very
I
well
will go do
attended.
that too. I think that'd be real.
Yeah.